talk more about the influence of Reverend Jesse Jackson. Right now, we are joined by Reverend Darius Pridgen. Bishop, thank you very much for coming in this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Let's begin. Before we kind of get into his legacy, what was your reaction to news of his passing?
You know, it was one of kind of relief for him and his family. He had been suffering for years. And when you have been that active all of your life and to not be able to do what you want to do or like to do, it was kind of relief for me, and I'm sure for his family.
What kind of inspiration was he for you and for your line of work and what you ended up doing in life?
Well, you know, I was the first full-time pastor ever elected to public office in the city of Buffalo. And so when, you know, even when I met him, I wasn't in public office then, but it was an example that you can be involved in government and bring good change to government and be involved in religion. And so that was important to me, to have that type of example in front of me.
I want to bring our attention to the screen here. We have this photograph here. Tell us about that.
So he was here in Buffalo. This was at our church, and he spoke. And the baby who he's holding, his name is Aaron Tucker. He's a minister now. He's a minister in training. So I didn't know that until I was outside in the parking lot and somebody called me, that he, if you look at that picture, as he looks up at Reverend Jackson, and then his life went in the same way.
And that was in 1998.
Yeah.
Right. So let's talk about what was going on around that time. And did you invite him to True Bethel, or did he stop by? How did all that work?
I didn't invite him. They contacted me.
Okay.
And said that he was going to be in Buffalo, and that our church fit really, you know, the type of audience that he wanted to address. So this was the first time I had met him. I seen him afterward at events, but this was the first time the one-on-one talk. And I'll tell you, I was just blown away because, you know, he has this national, if not international stage. But when he came, he was so humble. And even when he picked up Aaron, like when I posted this picture today, you know, all these people were like, "That's Aaron, that's Aaron." He did, you know, he reached out for Aaron, and his parents, who are pastors, also handed him over. But he was his conversation was always about better, about things becoming better, and not losing hope.
And what was his message to the congregation on that day?
I really can't remember, you know.
It was good though, right?
Yeah, I can't even remember my phone number. You asked me about the message. But whatever it was, whenever you heard Jesse, it was going to be the same thing. It was going to be about hope. It was going to be about continuing to work. His greatest pulpit was not in a church. It was on Monday morning after church. How are we going to affect change? How are we going to make things in life better for other people? And we are blessed, especially in a time like now, when there's so much division, to have somebody who really brought hope back to all people, but especially African Americans, that he was not ashamed to say that, you know, we have a long way to go. And he was not ashamed to even correct us in our behavior or in our silence.
Because you mentioned, you know, today's world, as Jeff mentioned before, you know, there are a number of tributes and statements pouring out. I know the Reverend L. Sharpton, he put out a long thing saying, you know, what he taught him. What do you think, you know, looking at his lifetime of crusades, really, what today's generation, the younger generation, can learn from his story?
You know, I think his story has to continue to be told, that we don't lose it in history, because we still have problems in these United States. And so I think that young people knowing his story, Shirley Chisholm and others who have gone before them, knowing that this has been a fight, and I mean a real fight, at times physical, that we lost lives. And so I think that message has to keep going forward about keep hope alive. You know, that was his thing, keep hope alive. But keeping hope alive, you have to work at it. It's not just saying it.
And looking at his body of work, so many things that you could look back on. He marched with Dr. King, the presidential runs as well. What would you look back and say is maybe his singular achievement?
You know, talking about one single achievement is just too much. I mean, to see when I was a child, a black man on the stage of the Democratic National Convention, to see a black man who could preach, but who would also fight for civil rights. I don't know if I have one thing. You know, I'm going to be selfish. I'd say, you know, him coming to True Bethel, but it was so much bigger than True Bethel. So I think to put it in, you know, I think everybody's going to remember the picture of him standing at the hotel when Dr. King was there, reminding us that he was there even in death of one of our greatest icons, but he definitely one of our greatest icons and fighters.
Unfortunately, our time is short. We could keep talking, but we thank you, Bishop, very much for coming in and sharing
thank you
this with us.
for even bringing this up on your station to have this conversation.
Thank you, Bishop.